Greetings from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I am Wesley Jacob, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. In this video lecture, I am going to present on the topic alternative fuels. So alternative fuel is an substitute for SI engine fuel, petrol, and CI engine fuel, diesel. Instead of petrol and diesel, we are going for an alternative fuel. Types of fuel. Fuel exists in three forms: solid, liquid, gaseous. Solid example, coal. What is the drawback in coal is the distribution of fuel is difficult. Normally, in an CI engine, liquid fuel is used. In that liquid fuel, the distribution takes place from the engine fuel tank to the engine cylinder. The fuel is injected. In case of solid fuel, this distribution of fuel is difficult. And also another problem, residue and ash formation. Next form of fuel is liquid. For example, in liquid fuel, we have petrol and diesel. In this liquid form, distribution of fuel is done by pump, and this liquid fuels generate more emissions. Next form of fuel is gaseous fuel. Examples of gaseous fuel: LPG, CNG, biogas. In gaseous state, distribution of fuel is much easier without the usage of pump. Now, before dealing with the alternative fuels, let us see what are fossil fuels. Currently, over 80% of world's motor vehicle fuel for road, rail, air, and sea is met by fossil fuels. Example, petroleum. Fossil fuels are mainly crude oil, natural gas, and coal that are made up of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen elements, and other minerals. How in an internal combustion engine emission is formed? If there is an insufficient oxygen available in the engine cylinder, incomplete combustion occurs, which forms emissions like carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, carbon as well as carbon dioxide and water. Next, we can see what are all the alternative fuels available nowadays. There are two categories. First category is fossil fuel alternatives. Fossil fuel alternatives are liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, butanol, electricity from coal, oil, gas, methanol from natural gas and coal, and also non-fossil fuels are another category. In that, we have methanol from biomass, ethanol, biodiesel and renewable diesel, electricity from renewable sources like solar energy and hydrogen. First of all, we can see about the alternative fuel which is non-renewable, liquefied petroleum gas. This liquefied petroleum gas is produced from raw natural gas and also from refining of crude oil. It is also known as propane. Mixture of light hydrocarbons, gaseous at normal temperatures, and liquefy at moderate or reduced temperature. Main, main component gases are propane, propylene, and butane. 15% lower exhaust and evaporative greenhouse gases emissions compared to petrol vehicles. This is an example of LPG bus which is operated in Spain. Next alternative fuel is CNG fuel, compressed natural gas. Natural gas is mixture of gases, mainly hydrocarbons. In CNG fuel, 87.9% volume of the hydrocarbons is methane, and other components are propane, butane, pentane, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. This fuel is compressed and used as automotive fuel. This is an excellent fuel for spark ignition engine. Older cars are easier to convert from petrol to CNG, but on converting, the maintenance cost is more expensive. The engine which is fueled with CNG fuel, which will have a very near zero NOx emissions. And about vehicle performance, there is 10 to 15 percentage fuel efficiency degradation, 15 to 20 percentage less torque and horsepower, quieter operation than diesel. This compressed natural gas does not make more noise. And one of the disadvantages of CNG fuel is it requires higher maintenance cost. This picture shows that CNG buses in Delhi, which is which is operated in as a road vehicle. Next, we shall see about the next alternative fuel, methanol. Methanol is a clear liquid alcohol produced from natural gas, crude oil, and biomass such as wood and wood residues. However, natural gas is now the most economically and environmentally viable source. This pure methanol fuel can be used in specially designed engines used in racing cars as its high octane rating and more power than normal petrol engines. This pure methanol fuel can be mixed with petrol for flexible fueled vehicles. This methanol fuel does not produce soot emissions, sulfur dioxide emissions, and NOx emission, but this methanol cost of this fuel is high and it consumes more fuel. This methanol blended vehicles are nowadays used in China on the ratio M15, 15 percentage of methanol and 85 percentage of gasoline. The next alternative fuel is ethanol. This ethanol fuel is produced from sugarcane by trans-esterification process. This ethanol can be blended with petrol directly up to 20 percentage. Above 20 percentage, cold starting problem occurs. Ethanol is the best renewable resource. It can be also manufactured from waste materials. This fuel is less toxic and corrosive. But for producing this ethanol fuel, we need a large area of crop. So what we can convert the crop into a ethanol fuel by means of trans-esterification process. In this ethanol fuel, we have high CO, less CO emissions and more aldehyde emissions. Ethanol production is 2 to 3 times more expensive than petrol production. Next, the most efficient alternative fuel is the battery or electricity. Fuel cell vehicles run on electricity produced through electrochemical reaction when hydrogen and oxygen is combined. So in this, without combustion, we produce electricity, and this electricity is stored on the battery, and this battery is put into the car, and the vehicles operate. Normally, battery powered vehicles store power in batteries that are recharged by plugging the vehicle into an electric source. Next alternative fuel is biodiesel. This biodiesel is produced from vegetable oils and animal fats. These are non-toxic, biodegradable, but biodiesel is less powerful compared to diesel and other gasoline fuels. One of the major problem of using biodiesel is long-term storage of biodiesel can thicken and clog the filters and develop corrosion. The next alternative fuel is hydrogen. How this hydrogen is produced? This hydrogen is produced from water through hydrolysis. This hydrolysis process is operated by means of electricity. This limitless supply of hydrogen in water if sufficient electricity is available. Also, this hydrogen fuel can be also produced by hydrocarbons in reaction with steam. This can be also made as a renewable resource if hydrocarbons are derived from vegetable oils or plants. Hydrogen fuel is one of the non-toxic fuel. This fuel is currently used in space rockets, but the main concern is this fuel storage is very heavy and expensive. And also the main concern is safety in storage use and distribution. Since at high temperature, it burns rapidly. Finally, conclusion about these alternative fuels. Alternate fueled vehicles could conserve natural resources and lower vehicle emissions and minimize environmental impacts. Various options include alcohol based fuels like methanol, ethanol, biomass based fuel like biodiesel, battery electric, and renewable sources such as hydrogen. Currently, the use of fossil fuels cannot be completely removed instantaneously, but through new policy measures, tax reductions, and incentives could ensure the increased use of alternate fueled vehicles in the coming years. Thank you.